tell the direction of progression in the pattern deviation probability. Sometimes the best deviation point here is +1. It is +1. Most of the points are now above the hill of vision, and seventh best is +1. Instead of elevating, now we will depress. And when we depress in this, you see more scotomas in the pattern. Usually, we see more scotomas in the total deviation probability plot than pattern deviation probability plot. But when seventh best deviation point is on plus, our aim is seventh best deviation point to bring to the normal slope of field of vision. We add +1, we add -1. So we see more scotomas in the pattern deviation probability plot. So always I told you to see the both probability plots as a single unit. When they look exactly similar, the seventh best deviation point is 0. If the pattern plots contain less number of scotomas, the seventh best is on minus side. If the pattern deviation probability plot scores more scotomas, the seventh best deviation point is on plus side. Coming to the false positives, where you see hyper white area of the grayscale, and in this situation we see more scotomas in the pattern deviation probability plot than the total deviation probability plot. Why you see more scotomas in the pattern deviation probability plot in high false positive cases? If you see the raw data, because there are only 2 points with loss of retinal sensitivity trigger happy, the retinal sensitivity almost looking like a raw data. It is better than 15 times, 15 dB better than normal, 16 dB better than normal. Only 2 points are showing loss of retinal sensitivity, and the best seventh deviation point is +18. Then we added a -18. When we add -18, we got more scotomas in the pattern deviation probability plot. We add now to bring the seventh best deviation point to slope, all the decrease, and we see more scotomas in the, because I told you the better retinal sensitivity points will not be represented in any p-value. Even though the sensitivity is not commonly seen, the p-value is not calculated for the better retinal sensitivity points. That is why we don't see any symbol. If p-value is also given to the plus points, there will be huge number of scotomas here. But the p-value is calculated only for the loss of retinal sensitivity points, and they will be more in the false positives. High false positives, we see more scotomas in the pattern plot, the pattern deviation probability plot than the total deviation probability plot. That is all about the understanding of conversion of pattern deviation, total deviation plots to the pattern deviation plots. Now coming into the global indices, pattern standard deviation, mean deviation, and visual field index. Normally, there is a slope of field of vision. There are two components, one representing the contour, another representing the height of field of vision. The PSD represents the contour. A change in contour can be a localized change in contour, that is also irregular, or generalized. Irregular, generalized but irregular, or a cataract patient and a localized scotoma in a generalized depression, uniform generalized depression. All will have irregular contour. And any one, this which represents the contour is PSD, which represents the loss of retinal sensitivity is the depth of the field effect, that is represented by mean deviation. So we have two components, one representing the contour is PSD, one representing the height of field of vision. Decrease in height of field of vision is the mean deviation index. Now we talk about the mean deviation index. Mean deviation index is derived from the total deviation numerical plot. It is the average of all the points except the 2 points of the blind spot. They are not omitted. So out of 54, 2 points are eliminated, and 52 points are taken into consideration. You make the sum of all the deviation values and divided by 52 and gives the mean deviation value. So if I say the mean deviation index is 6.5, average 6, say for example, that means all the points are 666. This is the average of all the, it is represented by, each point is represented by 6. That is the mean deviation. The average of all. This is the mean deviation. But the one drawback is, what do you understand if I say it's a mean deviation index is -7, the mean deviation index is -7, 8, -9, but you don't get any information. If I say in a localized scotoma, take for example, in a localized scotoma, whenever I say the mean deviation, we should always ask what is the extent of the localized field, what is the extent of the field effect, what is the location of the field effect, what point pattern that belongs to the mean deviation index. All these things should be considered to get an idea about the mean deviation. If I say in this case, is a localized scotoma, the mean deviation is -3.84. But if you see this localized scotoma, -26, -9, -10, -6, and when this localized scotoma, the loss is distributed among all the points and expressed as a mean. So, always in a localized scotoma, the mean deviation is always undervalued. To some extent, the value in a generalized depression with irregular generalized depression, the value to some extent may correlate exactly. And uniform generalized depression, that means it is exactly similar to the loss of mean deviation index, gives the correct information about this loss. Take for example, suppose is a localized scotoma in this printout, and the mean deviation is -6.76. This is also localized scotoma, and this mean deviation is around 8. But if you see, this localized scotoma is starting from the periphery, and this localized scotoma starting from the center. So even in localized scotoma, the mean deviation is -6.5. You should always ask what is the location of the field effect. Then take for example, this printout, this mean deviation of the same patient in 24-2 and the mean deviation in 10-2. The mean deviation in 24-2 is -5. The mean deviation of in 10-2 is -11, 12.84. So even the mean deviation changes in 24-2 and 10-2, same patient. Take for example, the same patient, if you take, in this patient, if you take 30-2, because the central peripheral areas points are normal, and this loss of retinal sensitivity will be divided by 74, and this value again still more low. So mean deviation, you should understand what is the extent of the field effect, what is the location of the field effect, what point pattern is there, whether it is the mean deviation of 24-2 or 30-2 or 10-2. So all these things should be considered. So grading of glaucoma on the basis of mean deviation alone, we have to, unless otherwise you have to take all these points into criteria. We cannot grade the mean deviation index, whether it is grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. So you should be always be careful and very, very cautious to grade glaucoma on the basis of mean deviation index. So whenever you talk about mean deviation index, you always think about what is the type, what is irregular, localized or irregular field effect can be localized or irregular generalized. Uniform is always generalized because all the points are lost and they correspond to usually exactly used. The mean deviation index is almost, the loss at each point is almost similar. When it is a localized, it is almost under value. In irregular generalized depression, almost maybe some undervalue, but almost symmetrical. But we have to consider the location and the point pattern. All these points should be kept in mind. Coming to the PST, the PST is so mean deviation index is to know the depth of this scotoma. The PST represents the contour. The main disadvantage of mean deviation index is in a localized scotoma. When this localized scotoma, when it is distributed to all the points, the value of the mean deviation will be very minimal and it is non-significant. Even there is early localized scotoma, the mean deviation is maybe non-significant. So we want to have another index which represent early localized scotoma. That means only contour, change in contour. So the PST is developed to pick up change in contour and it does not have any value, any sign in front of it, and it does not represent the severity of glaucoma. And this is the index developed to pick up early localized scotoma. Take for example, this is an early localized scotoma in the grayscale in the probability plot. If you see, the visual field index is 97%, and the mean deviation index is minus 1.28. So it is no significant, no p-value. It is still, it doesn't have any significance. But the p-value, PST is 2.89 dB with a p-value less than 2%. So we developed another index to pick up early localized scotoma and not appreciated in the mean deviation index. That is why, and GHD is also outside normal. So that is why GHD and PSD are included in Anderson's criteria. The mean deviation index is not included in Anderson's criteria. Take, for example, in this patient, the localized scotoma, the mean deviation is -8 and the PSD is 10. No sign in front of it. And the glaucoma progressive. And the mean deviation is progressive to -15 to 64. PSD is also increasing. It actually tells the dissimilar values, the similarity between the deviation values, how dissimilar they are. Here, 3 quadrants are similar, 1 quadrant is dissimilar. And here, that is why the mean it is around 10. Here, 2 component quadrants are similar, and 2 quadrants are dissimilar, and it is 14. And the still more advanced, the mean deviation came to -25.68. Then PSD start decreasing because they are now becoming uniform. The dissimilarity is being lost. So in advanced cases, the dissimilarity is lost. So in early phase, there is a dissimilarity, and the mean deviation will be non-significant, but PSD will be significant. So still more glaucoma progressive. There is a dissimilarity, increase in mean deviation and increase in PSD. But in end stage, the dissimilarity is now start decreasing. Almost they will become similar, and the mean deviation will increase, but the PSD start decreasing. So from this, you should understand that the PSD doesn't have any value, any index to tell the severity of glaucoma or depth of the glaucoma. Depth of the field defect is known from mean deviation index, and the PSD will tell about irregularity. If there is, take for example, in this patient, this is the patient of glaucoma and developed cataract. And there is a uniform loss. When there is a uniform loss, there won't be any change in the PSD. Suppose a normal patient developed glaucoma cataract and there is a loss, but because there is no irregularity, there is no change in PSD. But a cataract patient developing glaucoma, there will be change in the PSD. Take for example, this is the patient with cataract, and mean deviation is -8, and the PSD is 4.83. So cataract is removed. The mean deviation became -4.62. PSD is unchanged because you are removing uniform generalized depression. When there is a uniform generalized depression is removed, there won't be change in the PSD. This is another example. The mean deviation, the cataract patient, cataract is removed, -11 became -5. But the PSD, there won't be any gross difference in the PSD, no change in PSD. So the role of PSD is to diagnose early the localized scotoma. That is Anderson's criteria. That is it included Anderson's criteria. If there is a progression of the field defect, that means increase in mean deviation. With increase in mean deviation, no change in PSD. That means uniform. No change in PSD. That is uniform generalized depression. That means it is developing cataract. Or there is a progression with change in PSD. That means there is a localized scotoma developing, indicates localized progression. So the PSD can help us in 2 ways. One is diagnosis, another is the progression, whether it is uniform progression or irregular progression or a localized progression. So no change in PSD, progression with no change, that means uniform progression, and progression with change in PSD, that means irregular progression. almost you should correlate all the three components. Take, for example, this is the grayscale, localized scotoma, PSD will be abnormal. Irregular, this is the both eyes, the irregular generalized depression, and PSD is also significant. So whenever there is a PSD significant, you see irregular. Whenever there is irregular, you find a scotoma in the pattern plot. Here you see irregular, and you see the pattern, the irregular localized, because the localized scotoma and then irregular loss, and PSD will be significant. Here you should appreciate. Here there is no irregular, uniform loss. Uniform loss, PSD will be uniform loss. In the grayscale, you are not appreciating any irregularity, and the pattern plot also normal. There is no irregularity. When there is no irregularity seen in the grayscale, no irregularity, no scotoma in the pattern deviation probability plot, PSD will be non-significant. If the PSD is significant, it indicates there is a localized scotoma, whether the localized scotoma may be in the entirely localized, or maybe a localized scotoma in an irregular generalized depression, or localized scotoma in a uniform generalized depression. You see, this is the patient of glaucoma and advanced DD. There is no cataract in this patient. All these points are loss of retinal cells only purely due to glaucoma in this end stage. You see the grayscale difference between both are irregular generalized depressions. Here, if you cataract, all became absolute scotomas. Here, the loss is more than 8 dB. You see a generalized depression, and still the grayscale is looking very healthy because the loss is only 8 dB, and we are appreciating a localized scotoma in a generalized depression. So a localized scotoma in a generalized depression or a cataract associated with glaucoma will have this type of printout, and the advanced glaucoma will have this type of printout. Coming to the visual field index. Visual field index is derived from the pattern deviation numerical plot. And in this case also, the outer set of points are not calculated. Outer set points of 30-2 are not considered, except the 2 nasal points, and only the points of 24-2 are considered. And this calculation of the visual field index is from the pattern deviation numerical plot, and it is calculated. The base is taken as p-value less than 5%. Is taken as the base. From that point, how much the loss is there? Here, actually, the loss, 28 dB loss, is considered to be 100% loss. In this patient, the loss is 13, and the patient is having still more 15 dB vision value. This 15 dB is converted into percentage, and all the points are again converted to percentage. So minus 15 by minus 28. How much vision she had? Still he can lose another 15 dB to become 100% loss. Still he had this vision, 15 dB vision. This 15 dB vision is now expressed as percentage. That is actually VFI principle. Whatever the existing vision he had, and how much he has to lose completely to become totally lost, and that is converted into percentage. So 100% is normal, and it is the index is easy to explain to the patient. You are now in the first visit, if the patient is 98 and next visit he had 78, we can tell that you have 98 vision percentage of vision. Now you have only 78% of the vision. The patient appreciates. That means he lost 20% of the vision. And it is like that we can have a better appreciation, explain the patient in a better way. But it is very difficult to explain the patient in terms of mean deviation. It is very difficult. So one best example for visual field index is they explain to the patient. And another important thing is it is included in the visual field glaucoma progression analysis. In glaucoma progression analysis, depending on VFM and the guided progression analysis, GPA, the visual field index is taken into consideration. But another most disadvantage of the GPA, visual field index calculation in 10-2, visual VFA is not calculated. and while